Staff for the work in the background, and what we're going to do now is move through to the launch of the New Zealand Wood Design Guides. So I'll ask Andy Van Houtte to take the floor. Andy is our manager of this cross-industry initiative, going very well at this point. So again, thank you all. I'll hand over to Andy. Andy.
For those of you that don't know me, my name's Andy Van Houtte. I've been in the industry coming up 20 years now, which is making me feel quite old. Most of it's been spent in the manufacturing industry, and in about the last 3 years I've been a consulting engineer. I'm pretty excited tonight. I get to share this presentation with two special people to me. Firstly, Andy Buchanan's going to be talking after me briefly. Andy Buchanan was my supervisor when I did my master's degree at Canterbury University. And then followed by him, Helen Anderson is going to launch the Timber Design Guides, particularly the first one. So pretty excited about that. I'm going to give you an overview of where we're at with the Timber Design Guide project, and it's actually evolving into something a bit like a startup business. It's quite exciting at this point in time, and I'll tell you why. The program has been developing for about 1.5 years now, and you might be wondering why it's taken us so long to get here, and I'll tell you why. Initially the scope was for 5 design guides, but we've enhanced that scope to 54 design guides. And that's pending on funding. And currently we have 5 design guides that are finished or close to be finishing. And they are Design for Fire Safety, which will be launched shortly, Designing for Prefabrication, which is written by Johan Betts, Quantity Surveying for Timber Structures, and Standard Connection Details for moment joints and timber cassette panels. And a further 10 design guides have been commissioned and are been close to being started and kicked off, and they include a consenting guide for timber structures, on-site construction guidance, earthquakes and timber buildings, structural forms and exemplars, timber and the environment, social and economic benefits of timber construction, post and beam timber buildings, acoustical and detailing guide, timber trees and their properties, and a fabrication guide for manufacturers. So it's quite comprehensive, and we're working through this. And what we have done is we've created a pipeline of work to roll out these guides, and this is what's taken the time. And so over the next 1.5 years, we're going to roll out these 15 guides. And pending further funding, we're going to reach our total goal of 54 design guides. But I want it to be a continuous process. We've increased our funding to $600,000 to date, and I would like to acknowledge 2 new funding partners, Brands, which is represented by Helen and David here today, and also AgMart, which is the Agricultural Marketing Research Development Trust, and Malcolm couldn't be here today, unfortunately. We've created a collaborative network of 40 supporters, and it's growing. And we'd like to acknowledge the new supporters to this project, in particular Duke and Issue, Simpson Strong Tie, Red Stag, PFITS Consultancy, Prendos, Logic Group, Irving Smith Architects, and WSP Opus as the latest additions to this group. Further to this, we are also applying for a provincial growth fund, and I recently received feedback on this initiative, and it was very positive. We've got 2 things to do with this initiative, and that is to show that we've got support from industry and that we are developing a perpetual funding mechanism for this initiative. And those are 2 things to work on for us before this will be approved. And so that's the work that I'm going to undertake shortly. Obviously, we'll be asking for support from the industry for this, but I'm very positive because this is such a collaborative project that we are going to be successful in this bid. If we get this bid, we're going to start a New Zealand Wood Design Centre, of which the design guides will be at the core of the centre. We're also budgeting for an R&D development fund, and we are wanting to create a cloud-based library of timber documentation that is easily accessible for everybody and searchable. These are just a number of the initiatives that are coming up, and there's plenty of enthusiasm out there, and there's a ton of ideas. I would also like to thank the WPMA staff at this point for their support with this project. I mean, it's been done on a startup basis, and they've been very flexible and super supportive of what I've been trying to do.